Mind would never say, nothing is happening, until it knew it was happening. It knew nothing was happening, you see. There has to be a knowing that either something or nothing is happening. So when a mind says nothing is happening, it's not true. It's not true to the mind. And when it says something is happening, it's also not true to the mind. Because the mind is a time machine. The ego wants to keep itself amused in the past or in the future. The ego wants to keep itself amused about the past, you see, always reflecting the memories of the past, the stories of old, the historical ventures of our forefathers and all that stuff, and always thinking about what's going to happen in the next 15, 20 years, electric cars and robots and, you know, space travel and living in Mars and all that stuff. The something and nothing world of the ego mind. When the experience, when the mind gives its way to allow the truth that one is to see clearly what all of this is about. When the mind re-enters or masks that what was seen, it has to create some sort of movie, because it appears to happen in time. And when it appears to happen in time, the mind is back in. The mind is a time machine. The mind of time takes the story, or takes the one moment, or takes the truth, or takes the self, the consciousness, whatever was revealed, and makes something out of it. So this mind that is speaking now can say that there was an enlightening situation, a true, incredible, vocal, but non-vocal annihilation of time and mind by this one moment. Does it happen in 2012 when through the ego's story can say, yes, I remember the day clearly. I remember the day clearly. When the self that reveals itself in its own consciousness, in that core, in that place of being, in that original paradise, heaven, that non-moving but truly liberating and tranquil love. When it sees itself through this vocal, verbal destruction of whatever spoke, through the universe fracturing to allow something worthwhile, comes in. Enlightenment did not happen in time. In fact, nothing happens in time. In the negative way of looking at that, it's trying to take its ownership from the mind. Mind, you can tell me something and you can tell me nothing, but I know nothing's happening. It has to be the mind that's saying that. The mind is the cunning fox that changes its uniform daily, momentary, to stop this revelation. Because if time stops, the mind dies. But life, it lives freely. Because time is just a concept, an idea. This is for the speaker, or the self that reveals itself as the consciousness that it truly is. It experiences its own liberation, its own freedom, its own love. And it realizes that, in fact, it's not even a realization. It's a truth for the speaker and the experience and that revelation of returning to that originality. That all of this is a mirage. All of this is a passing mirage. You know, when you look up at the sky and you see the cloud, and so many people see the same cloud and they tell a different story, and it moves and it breaks up and it changes stories and it changes shapes and it sometimes disappears into the blue sky and then re-emerges. That's life. That's this mirage. That's what's going on. And the seeing is not from the eyes. The seeing is from the eye. You see? The seeing is from the eye. I never comes and I never goes. Therefore, I is not in time. I is not timeless. Because to understand timeless, you have to understand time. Because one has to oppose the other. In St. Thomas, Christ says two becomes one. In modern day times, so many speakers say, went from duality to non-duality, from two to one. Christ didn't say stop at one. Christ did not give instructions on how to get from one to zero. That's your job. That's you, the non-duality. To let even the non-duality go. Even this part, even this chapter of the story has to go. To move into that zero dimension. I find it so funny that so many want fifth dimension, sixth dimension. But when you reach ninth dimension or 10th dimension, like the story goes, like the scriptures go, you end back at zero. So why not take the shortcut? Why not go from third dimension and take 2 steps back to one? You don't have to understand zero. You don't have to understand this mirage. The mind has to make something out of this because there's nothing happening until the mind makes it happen. You see, whatever is taking place can only be understood through a mind, making assumptions, creating names, creating identities, creating an idea that there is time because the sun appears. Even the name sun is a man-made name for that what is natural. So whatever is happening like a cloud passing. But when they have this body and this mind that looks up at the cloud, which is your body, and says, right, I'm going to create a story with this. There it is, that's me. That's what I want. Oh no, look what's behind me. Oh yes, that's where I'm going. Oh, look at that cloud. That cloud looks as though it's merging with that cloud. It's like forming a relationship. When you take life seriously, you have to really take life seriously to the extent that it's so serious that you despise it. Because even the serious one wants to find the answer. And answer is not found in a serious aspect of taking this as the only thing that you will experience. So many clouds, so many bodies, so many lives, so many what you want to call universes, so many dimensions. This is just another little paragraph in the chapter of human living. You have so many lives to go, but they're all the same life, all the same consciousness, all the same mirage, all the same dream, born from the same self. I'm not so poetic as Papaji in his poem Self, but it's the same. All is born as a wonderful aspect of empty love. Empty love sounds, I don't like empty love, but emptiness where love expands into an incredible mind and makes something and nothing out of it. It being the name of God, I being the name of self, self being all-encompassing consciousness as it is. Nothing is happening. Something is happening. Deep sleep, nothing is happening. Wakefulness, something appears to be happening. You don't remember deep sleep because you were never in deep sleep. But you accept it. You accept deep sleep like it is absolutely natural. But when you wake up, or when this thought process, this ego wakes up in the morning, it doesn't see the day as natural. It sees it as a working ethic that I have to follow a process, a method. I have to behave. I have to do so many things. I have to look at the past. I have to take the past. I have to move the past into the future. I have to do so many things. And it becomes imperfect. And then you start taking life seriously. And then you end up in front of the mirror like this speaker in Eckhart Tolle. And you want to die. But it's mind that wants to die. Is it not? And when mind dies, it doesn't die completely. It just drops to the ground, injured, wounded. And yourself is revealed to yourself. And a voice says so many things, so many wisdom. But just before the mind comes back, it says, remember, you're simply dreaming. You're simply dreaming this. And you that dreams is no dreamer. You are the creation of the dream, the creation of yourself, the creation of all your world, all your stories. This dream is infinite. It holds so many possibilities. This dream is I. And I never comes and I never goes. And I is born from self. Self, all-encompassing consciousness. All of this experienced in this moment. This moment is not in time. This moment is in presence. The screen, as Papaji says, here and now, where everything arises from it as a reflection of it. The sun shines. The light cascades. It cascades the mind to blind it, so that the real eye, the true eye that sees through the light, sees through the dark, sees the originality, through one moment, I truly is. God bless Papa G and every human that realizes in this emptiness such a wonderful play is taking place. It's mystical, it's magical, but it's not true. Truth is beyond consciousness. When the moment reveals itself, it truly reveals itself. And that self is I. St. Francis of Assisi says, the door opened. I was looking. I had always been looking. And when it opened fully, I was on the inside. How can it be? I want to leave you with Christ's St. Thomas words. Seek and ye shall find. But you really have to seek. Don't be lazy. Don't wait for everything to be put in front of you. Search as if you are desperate to get out of this serious aspect of living. But don't expect anything, because Christ never warned you when he's going to pounce. And when he pounces, you'll never experience love like that or like this in a human body. Because the I arises to that above. And when it rises to that above, it merges and becomes a child of God. No one exempt. Everything is here for you. Ask the right question. Be true. Seek as a gladiator with desperation. Look within. Go beyond your brain. That dream machine. Go beyond time. And follow me. Because me and that following of that me as yourself, through me, your I am is the way. I truly is the way. Seek I. Until you're seek of searching. And the moment you surrender in that serious aspect in front of that mirror, and you say, I've had enough. Take me fully. I don't know who I am, what I am. Christ, in his best suit, and his best groomed beard, and his best sandals, will crucify you. Because you really have to know what suffering is. No guru tells you that you have to be suffering to get out of the suffering. You think Christ doesn't want everyone to suffer so that every one of us can experience that crucifixion, that pain, that struggle, that bravery, that heroic way to sacrifice his body for humanity. So you have to sacrifice your ego. That's not a lot to ask, but it's a lot to give away. All the stories I'm giving away to find the truth, and Christ will lead you by the hand to the door within, the door through I. Seek this one moment. In this moment, so much revealed. So much revealed. That's why it's called Revelation. The Bible then makes sense, as does the Bhagavad Gita and the Quran and all the other wonderful biblical books. They start making sense, and you see that there's only one religion. The religion of God truly is. Namaste. Have a great life. Love, wishes, and remember, don't be afraid. It's fear that holds every mind back, because the mind will try and convince you it's not a dream. This is reality. And it is. When the sun goes, and the dark goes, and the names go, and the stories go, something remains in this body that is truly real. And I will show you the way to that reality. Om Namaste.